ya kwamba Mungu ametufanyia hii mambo yote. You know, when I came here, I'm sure all of us munajua the church that we had before. And it is good that the same day Mungu amenieleza nikuje hapa, ndio siku ya kwanza tunaona the new roof seated. And sikuwa najua hiyo. I didn't know that before I came. In fact, unajua saa zingine ni vizuri tunatoa testimony. Testimony inasaidianga sisi wote tujue ya kwamba whatever we do, we remain as children of God. Na ile testimony nataka kutoa, mimi nilikuwa najisikia nataka kuja church Murang'a town. But nikapigia wanya wako hapa, nikawaambia nataka kwenda kanisa. Na nikawaeleza even the name of the church. Nilikuwa naona kama sijaenda huko for a long time. Then one of them told me, hapana, yeye umesema hata kama wewe ni mheshimiwa, tafadhali, is one of our staff. Akaniambia, tafadhali hata kama wewe ni mdosi yangu, we had a harambee today in a church service we were attending a staff in a full gospel. And let me tell you, lady asimama, I think you are the reason Mungu alitueleza, akatupigia, akatupeleka pale, mwishowe tukajipata hapa. I want to thank you for obeying God. Kwa sababu umepeana his word kwa vile aliweka kwa roho yako. Na kama kuna mtu mwingine hapa hajahubiriwa, unilaumu kwa sababu ni mimi nimehubiriwa leo. Tafadhali keti. You have done a great job. The kind of word you gave us today, I am sure I am not alone who it is spoke to directly. Na hiyo inatuonyesha ya kwamba Mungu anatumia njia zake hata akitaka tusikie neno kama hilo. Ya kushangaza, when I came here and I saw the rambles, as ladies started to speak, the first thing you talked about is exactly the same thing I saw, or I was thinking about, that this is ramble. Hii ni kubomolewa hapa iko. Tunaona kitu ambayo iko chini ishabomolewa. But looking around, we see magnificence. What came to my mind? We had a church which was smaller than the kind of facility Mungu ametuwezesha kujenga. But for us to depart from that smaller church that we had before, something had to go down. And some of the evidence of going down is already before us here. What came to my mind? Here there are very many young people. Some, maybe they have lost their job. I think today, kulingana na ile hubiri, the sermon that we were given, for you to get that better job, ilibidi ubomorewe ukue kama hii rambo, ukue jobless kidogo, ndio promotion ya hii magnificence ifuatilie. Now, I hope we have all been blessed the way I have been blessed today by that sermon. The other thing I want to speak about briefly is that I am always grateful to represent the people of Kiharu in parliament. Na vile Lady amesema, she's proud, I am also very proud to be the representative of the people of Kiharu. Na nitataja tu mambo machache sana ambayo tumefanya hapo just in the recent past. One is that, you know, we have tarmacked most of the roads in Murang'a town, in most estates. Kieda Kadudu kuna rami, kule Mombi, karibu Biri Primary iko rami. Many places, even before, by the way, the comrades of university, Murang'a University who joined recently, before hakukuwa na rami hapo university. Mungu alituwezesha ile muhula ya kwanza, tukaweka rami huko, ingine tumemalizia in my second term. And there is still some work we have lined up in terms of development. Ile uwanja ya Mombi pale chini itakuwa uwanja kubwa Tuna upgrade hiyo uwanja ikue uwanja ambayo watu 10,000 wanaweza kaa hapo wakiwatch mpira. Na all the processes have been done. I know there was some issues around even the land. I am hoping tuliachia administration wadili na hiyo mambo ya shamba kwa sababu hatukuwa tunataka kujiigiza kama wanasiasa. I am hoping they have already finalized talking to the community and the school so that we have that facility there. Otherwise, even the tender is awarded. Everything is done. It's only the work to start. The other thing ambayo iko hapa karibu, tuko karibu kuanza. Tumejenga barabara kule mjini. Mjini hapo beleni ilikuwa kama ghetto. Lakini sasa ni ghetto estate. Ukienda huko iko rami, most of the areas in mjini. Na hatujamalizia. Mimi napenda mjini sana kwa sababu my father alikuwa anakaa Kiadutu slums kule Thika. So nikienda mjini huwa najihisi niko nyumbani. So pale mjini pia kuna barabara inatokea hapa Bishop Cairo ya rami. Hata hiyo before the end of this year itakuwa tunamalizia hiyo barabara kuweka rami. Kuna barabara pale MTN. Kanisa ya Breakthrough mnaijua na kanisa ya KAG. Kwenye hiyo rami ilifika. Tunapeleka hapo mbele on the way to the Red Cross. Isavu hao watu wako hiyo area rami. It may not be too long, but in a densely populated area like here, half a kilometer of tarmac can serve a huge population. And I know there are many students who live there by university, wa KMTC, tunaitengeneza. Pia before the end of this year, nasema zile mambo tumemaliza the processes. Sio zile za kupromise. The ones we've already gone the long haul. Hii barabara ya hapa kanisani inakuanga 400 meters kutokea. Hiyo barabara pia, the process is done, award is done, hii inawekwa kabro. So all those ones, the processes are done. Na pastor ni kushukuru pia, Reverend. Kwa sababu Mungu amekupea beyond your calling as a church, as a spiritual leader. Anyone who never knew mtu ambaye anasimamia hii mjengo ni Reverend Isaac. Kwa sababu background yake ni ya ujenzi. So nyinyi mko na engineer Reverend. And we can see your imagination and your ingenuity even in this church that we have the new one. So the other things that we are doing, nilikuwa nakushukuru kwa sababu hata ya kureclaim hii land, tutasaidiana vile umesema kulingana na ile uwezo Mungu atatupea. Wakati tutaanza hiyo mambo ya kabro, we'll see where we'll chip in. I want to finish na mambo ya elimu. Na wanasema ati nikichomwa najua inakaa kioo. Watu ya kamera. I want to finish hiyo mambo yote tunafanya hapa Kiharu na what is usually very close to my heart. And what is very, very close to my heart in terms of being a leader is education. Because many of us who are here today, we are here because Mungu alitumia elimu kutuondoa the alternative of elimu that was in our minds. And therefore, I always look forward to doing everything possible as a leader to give as many people as possible opportunities to get quality education. That is why from our first term, all our schools in Kiharu, yote ya primary tumetengeneza, inakaa academy. In fact, let me say, many look better than academies. From technology to mjini Tubiri Primary, ukienda St. Mary, tuliweka kabro hivi juzi. The entire school looks very, very good. I was there. Kogoine, hata Kiagage, na Mjini Primary. Shule zote za hapa town, tumerekebisha. The ones that needed more classes we have built, like technology, like Vidhuramji, like Mjini. We have done a lot in terms of kuinua infrastructure. We are also doing the same in our day schools. We started phase 1 of building around 9 laboratories, because beyond kuweka upana katika elimu, we are also looking forward to deepening knowledge. And one of the things that can deepen knowledge is laboratories and libraries. And that is why we are doing that. But beyond that, you know, in Kiharu we have a program called Kiharu Masomo Bora. Kiharu Masomo Bora takes care of all our learners in day schools. We have over 12,000 of them. Kuna wengi ambao wametoka other areas, they have come to Kiharu last academic year. Na kwa hiyo mpango ya Kiharu Masomo Bora, I'm just reporting to you as my bosses because some of you are beneficiaries. In our day schools in Kiharu, the only school fees we pay is 1,000. Na wale wako na remedio, haipiti 1,000. And there is no other fee that you pay. So there is nothing. Registration ya hii ama ile, nothing. Na katika hiyo fedha, all the learners in our day schools, they eat in school. They even eat in school on Saturday, from Monday to Saturday, wale wanaenda. Na the last Friday of the month, mnajua hapa lunch, in all our day schools, wanakuranga chapati. Naona comrades wa Murang'a University wanasema warudie kidogo day school. I think it's easier to bring chapati to university than for you to come back. But I am glad you are so many of you here. And it's because of that, Pastor, uniruhusu niseme, something national that inaambatana na hiyo mambo ya elimu. I have been watching, I have been receiving communication even from our principals on something that is very appalling. That as a leader, we are not going to allow it to happen. That the Ministry of Education, the government of Kenya, has sent a circular to our principals, purportedly referring to a Gazette notice of 2015, wanting to reduce capitation to our day schools, day secondary schools, from 22,000 to 12,000 shillings. I want to assure you, as a member of parliament, I will do everything possible within my powers to make the government rescind that decision. Because education plays a very critical role in development of any country. In a country like Kenya, ambayo mapato iko chini, I know firsthand because of Kiharu Masomo Bora that even some parents cannot even afford to pay the 1,000 shillings we charge for school fees. Now the government has written to our principals in day schools that now the parent will be paying 9,300 shillings on top of what they have been paying for food. And therefore they are taking the fee for day schools from what was around 12,000 across the country per year, that the learners will be made to pay over 20,000 shillings per year in our day schools. We cannot allow that to happen. Kwa sababu huyu mtu ambaye anaambiwa alipe hiyo fedha akikosa, huyo mtu atakuwa gharama kubwa hata kwa nchi kama hatapata elimu. And I want to request those who are in government, even all of us, including myself as leaders, as a leader, we are all beneficiaries of our communities, taking us to schools. We are all beneficiaries of our country, giving us a through pass to go to school. We cannot digress. We cannot go back. And I have seen there is a penchant, there is a concerted effort, almost deliberate, of taking away the free basic education in Kenya. We keep seeing conflicting information. This person in government says this other one says this other one says this. Now the culmination is setting a circular to day schools principals to add school fees from January. I want to request our leaders, all the money we are using to manage politics in Kenya is more than enough to say to our day schools to make even day schools free in Kenya. And we have to get our priorities right. There is no way you'll come, you'll do baraza sponsored by government in the same budget, then you come to tell us that there is no money for capitation for our secondary schools. In Kenya, those who are in government, look at us very clearly. And I'm looking at you directly. We are not going to allow any leader to play around with free basic education in Kenya. The second thing, we have had our brothers and sisters, trained teachers, qualified graduates, volunteering as interns in our secondary schools, both junior and senior in Kenya, most of them in junior secondary, with a stipend of 17,000 shillings. Their contract, the one they signed with government, was a 1-year contract for internship. Now we are almost in December, because now it's November. Schools are opening in January. And TSC is not showing any indication of even being aware that the contracts are coming due this year, the end of this year. The government must confirm to permanent and pensionable terms all the 20,000 interns in our JSS institutions. And if they say there is no budget for that, I have been there. There are many ways of doing it. The government has a leeway of spending up to 10% of the money outside of the budget. Under the article called 223, they can bring to parliament for ratification later. So TSC tafadhali, all the JSS interns must be confirmed into permanent and pensionable. If you don't have the budget, as members of parliament, we are giving you permission, sped, we will ratify later. But as of now, give indications on confirming them to permanent and pensionable terms in January next year. Na ya mwisho, katika hiyo mambo ya elimu, the reason why I am talking with a heavy heart, that we are so aware as leaders that there are by-elections in the country. We are so aware of any political activities that we are having. But we have had a strike of lecturers in Kenya for close to 2 months because of 7 billion shillings that the government of Kenya owes to the lecturers. That learners, our comrades, their education has been halted for over 40 days because of 7 billion. And you are talking about 7 billion in an era where 1 billion shillings is spent in an event just to manage politics. We need to come back to our basics. Let us come to our basics. Siasa itajisort kama tutafanyia wananchi kazi. Wachana na kumanage siasa kutumia billions of money hidden in many confidential votes. Remove that money from those confidential votes. Confirm JSS interns. Remove that money of managing politics from those confidential votes and pay capitation for our institutions. That is what managing politics is. It is not about bribing citizens. Ama nyinyi mnaonaje wa Kristo wenzangu? Keginyi hau Ngai wa moyo amurathime. Na wiwaamini huyu anaitwa Joshua. I'm doing that because we don't want to hijack the service and give more speeches. Joshua ni rafiki yangu, mwanabiashara. Kuna waboi wa Kameme